I'm Shari Williams. Wilmington is gearing up for its annual Heart Walk, and the Newcastle County Police Department is putting a stronger emphasis on cold cases. That's next on Delaware Perspective. Well, Newcastle County Police launched this new cold case website just in July. The department is hoping that this will actually allow the public to know that these cases are still active and open and that they need your help from the public. The police and families and the victims have not given up, and they hope and believe that someone knows something out there that will help them solve these cases. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the cases from 2012.
Nobody deserves to die like that.
Friends of 20-year-old Peter Sabatino came to his Newark apartment after learning of his death. Some of them had graduated from Appoquinimink High School in Middletown, Delaware, with Sabatino in 2011. Recently, he'd been taking University of Delaware classes. Friends said they can't think of any reason anyone would want Pete dead.
We all know him. We all know him not to be anyone that would deserve to be shot, nonetheless. Deserved to be robbed, deserved to be shot, deserved for any ill will to happen to him. And he was a great person and a great friend, and everybody should know that.
Residents of the apartment complex said last night around 9:15 they heard a loud argument near Sabatino's car, parked outside his first-floor apartment in the 200 block of Thorn Lane. Moments later, they heard a series of gunshots coming from behind another building across the parking lot. College students ran outside and saw their friend on the ground in a pool of blood with a gunshot wound to his side.
I heard the shots, and I seen him laying there. I didn't know what to think of the situation. Was he running for his life? I noticed his car was sitting here. It was a light on.
We see him laying on the ground. His friends are just surrounding him.
Dylan Brady and his brother performed CPR until paramedics arrived. Sabatino was taken to Christiana Hospital and pronounced dead.
I did all I could do, and it's just sad.
To talk more about this new cold case website, we have in studio with us from the Newcastle County Police Department, we have Detective Brian Shahan. Thanks for being here with us,
Thanks
Detective. And also we have with us Sergeant Glenn Davis, who is actually retired but has been brought back on to work specifically with this cold case.
Thank you for having us.
All right, thanks to both of you for being here. Let's talk about the cold case squad in general, the idea of it. Why was it developed?
Our Colonel Setting, was the driving force behind this. He wanted to basically go back and review the cases that are unsolved. And one of the things that was established was a full-time detective from our department, as well as retired Sergeant Glenn Davis, to come back and concentrate solely on these cases.
And so that actually started how long ago, the squad itself?
That was late in 2014.
So just over 2 years now, the squad has been up and running. Let's talk about what exactly is a cold case. How is that actually defined among law enforcement?
So there's really not a set time frame, but there is, if there's, the detectives have exhausted all their leads. There's no eyewitnesses coming forward. There's no physical evidence at the time that can push this case forward. Then eventually comes to our unit or our squad.
So the department, this squad, created in 2014, but the website is the newest tool you have, which just launched in July. How are these cases investigated, Sergeant?
We go back and we basically reinvestigate the entire case. We look at witnesses that have been interviewed. We do re-interviews. We look at physical evidence. We try to develop additional physical evidence that forensically we have sent to a lab and analyzed. And then we also work closely with the families of these cold case victims. Many times they are able to provide us with some additional leads that at the time when their emotions were so deep that they may have missed something, as well as the witnesses. So we basically re-interview and reinvestigate the entire case.
Let's use de Sabatino as much as we can for an example. We just learned about him. This was a young college student, apparently robbed and shot. So when you approach a case like that, then where do you start when you say reinvestigate?
Basically what we do is the first thing we do is we have contact with the family to let them know that we, as a cold case, are going to be reinvestigating this and bring them on board. And sometimes that does stir up some old emotions. But we do have a victim services unit in our police department that is attached to each cold case victim's family, and then from there, my partner and I, Detective Shahan, we go back and we start chronologically interviewing people, looking at physical evidence, reanalyzing physical evidence, revisiting the crime scene, and if necessary, reconstructing that crime scene and look for additional new leads.
Detective Shahan, how has the community responded to the website?
So we've had a really good response, either by phone calls or by emails, but they're just glad that they, whether it be their family members directly or friends that they knew were victims, they're glad that they were not forgotten. And they're very happy that we're doing this.
Yeah, because it really is a sensitive and personal matter. Someone has lost a loved one, and I would imagine that's the same type of approach as detectives and investigators you take on behalf of these families.
Yes.
To this website and the cold case squad to let them know this case hasn't been forgotten.
That is true. They many times, as the years go by, seem to think that the police department may have forgotten about this. We can assure the families that no cold case is ever a closed case. We're always looking for additional leads.
And in this day and age of technology, social media, and now here you go using the website, have you gotten good tips?
So we've gotten some good responses. Some people that back then, if you will, and we'll use the 2012 case for Pete, that might not have wanted to talk to the police then. Some people are more willing to talk to us now. Also with our website, we partnered up with Crime Stoppers, so they can send stuff in and remain anonymous. So we don't know, but they can point us, if you will, in the right direction to who we want to talk to or who should we be looking at. So
in essence, this is really just the next step, the next tool. You have several families and victims profiled, but you hope to expand.
Yeah, so right now we have a few on our website. We're hoping to add a couple each month. We'll put as many as we can. We have over 40 cases that we have right now, but that's just, I'm sorry. So we have 40 cases right now, but there are more that the detectives in our unit are investigating, and when it gets to that point, unfortunately, then it will come to us, and then we'll see what we can do.
Okay, we want, of course, for the two of you to stick around. We are going to talk more on these cases, so we'll be right back with more cases featured on the website.